Brand Africa has released its 14th annual Brand Africa 100 and Africa's Best Brands Research and Rankings. This year's research has also revealed those that have shaped South African brands over the past 3 decades. Let's unpack this research further. We're joined this afternoon by Dr. Thebe Ikalafeng. He's the chairperson and founder of Brand Africa. Dr. Ikalafeng, it's great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us on this celebration of Youth Day. Obviously, part of the reason why you've released this particular piece of research, I'm talking about the brands, events, campaigns and people who have shaped South Africa over the past 30 years. That's an obvious shout out to 1994, right?
Indeed. We wanted to reflect on the 30 years of democratic South Africa to try and understand what are those brands, those campaigns, those people, those ideas that have shaped the narrative about the country, that have created the perception about South Africa's competitiveness as a destination as well for FDI and all that. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And I've been going through some of the slogans, some of the brands that have made it onto your list, and I must say, the World Cups, feel it is here. That's one.
That's not correct. That's not how you say it. It's you say Philip. It is here.
I mean, that's one that all of us.
Because we didn't understand what it meant. We thought they're saying Philip, but yes.
What else jumps out for you on some of the slogans that will just take us back years, if not decades?
Oh, in the last 30 years, I mean, if you remember, Telkom at the height of its excellence, when they released Molom Hlobo Wam, with the man standing on a hill and shouting to the family on the other side of the hill, yes. Molom Hlobo Wam. Yes. How beautiful that was, reminded, because all of us could relate to it coming from rural, not peri-urban or rural areas. And then you look at Yebo Gogo, which is probably another iconic campaign by Vodacom. You remember Metro FM, What Makes You Black? And that's, remember, we're trying to all understand each other. What makes me black in this new South Africa? So I mean, those are some of the beautiful campaigns. You mentioned SABC's "Feel It, It's Here" on the 2010 Cup, and the excitement that all of us are looking forward to the World Cup. Yeah. I mean, to me, it was some of the most beautiful campaigns of the last. And then South Africa, the country, remember, released Today I Woke Up in South Africa. They had Desmond, they had Nelson Mandela, they had Natalie du Toit, I think they had Jacob Matlala, Baby Jake Matlala. So some of the icons of South Africa's culture and history. And it was a beautiful launch of the Alive with Possibility campaign. South Africa was on the ascendance, and that campaign reminded us at that stage what makes us a great country.
Yeah, we're still looking for Philip, aren't we, since the World Cup? We don't know where he went. But it's wonderful to look back, isn't it? And to see some of the iconic people and brands that have really made a mark on our country. And I kind of feel like, given the past 30 years, given the number of successful and really sort of tugging at the heartstrings campaigns we've had, do you feel that it's difficult for marketing companies now to come up with the same kind of pulling at the heartstrings, the same kind of legacy contribution to this landscape?
No. I think marketing companies are still doing it. I think the campaigns that we've mentioned just happen to be part of the reimagining of South Africa post apartheid, and that's why we remember them so much. I mean, you still have some excellent people doing great work, but we still remember the first to do it. And I think that's the only reason that we remember those campaigns, because those campaigns reminded us about a few things about the country. It's a capable country, it's an inspirational country, and it's a can-do country. And that's what those campaigns reminded us at that stage, and that's why we still remember them. Of course, South Africa does very well internationally when it comes to Cannes. It goes to all the international advertising competitions. South Africa still does very well. It's one of the most creative countries in the continent. I mean, it leads all countries creatively. So I don't think it's difficult at all.
Yeah,
you can't say we're a difficult country. It's Youth Day. Be youthful.
Now, I was about to say, some of the campaigns like Yebo Gogo, Molom Hlobo Wam, maybe even Feel It, It Is Here. on this Youth Day, those who are truly celebrators of Youth Day might actually not know what the campaigns are that we are talking about. I feel that we might be giving away our age with some of these campaign slogans.
but most of them will remember Philip. They remember Philip is here.
Do you think so?
Because the World Cup is still only 14 years ago.
Yeah.
And unless you're 14, most of us will remember the World Cup because it was the one place that we all looked forward to going.
No,
but I mean,
certainly.
I absolutely enjoyed the review of the 30 brands that make South Africa. The three individuals, Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, and Imtiaz Sooliman. I mean, Imtiaz Sooliman, just inspirational. Remember from Gift of the Givers. Remember when he came up last week, Wednesday, when I announced Imtiaz is one of the three most inspirational South Africans for the last 30 years. And when he spoke for just 1 minute, the entire room rose. Because how many people give up a medical career at that young age? For 32 years, then you find them, whether it's in Turkey, he's the first respondent in Turkey, first respondent in Mozambique, first respondent in Israel or Palestine, first respondent anywhere and an individual who has built the capacity to show the humane side of South Africa. Because, Ubuntu is part of the brand of South Africa, and Imtiaz embodies that.
Yeah, absolutely. So he fell in two categories, the three most impactful South Africans who embody the spirit of Ubuntu, and the three campaigns, events, or organizations that demonstrate Ubuntu and social impact. And he's included their Gift to the Givers with the Treatment Action Campaign and the Solidarity Fund. He's an incredible example, isn't he? I mean, I know we've got these top 10 brands that have shaped our country, and they will be well known throughout the country. But Imtiaz Sooliman, I feel, is someone that deserves special mention. And you've done exactly that with this research, giving him these two categories where he falls under. I wonder whether he thinks of himself as a brand. He's really just someone that comes across as, he'll arrive on the scene with his big Gift to the Givers truck at the scene of a flood or some other disaster, and there's sort of a collective sigh of relief in that community when he arrives, right?
Well, I don't think he uses the words brands when he thinks about himself. But what is a brand at the end of the day? A brand is a reputation. A brand is somebody who promises you something and delivers on something. A brand is a collection of perceptions. So if somebody says Imtiaz Sooliman and we can articulate who he is a brand. But everybody is a brand. Some brands are clear and some brands are not clear. And Sooliman is a very clear brand. Everybody knows it's a selfless South African or selfless Pan-African.
Oh, absolutely. So I wonder what you think, Dr. Ikalafeng, about the next 30 years. You and I will no doubt still be young as we are today. We'll be having this conversation about the brands that have shaped the country since 2024. It'll be 2054 at the time. What's on the horizon for us? And I suppose, are there some standouts that come to mind that you'll be keeping a close eye on?
Of course, there are some standouts. I mean, we also mentioned the three brands, the three inspirational youth-founded brands. You look at Yoko, which is now a unicorn, and it's based now in Holland and Dubai, and is massive in South Africa, a catalyst for entrepreneurs. You look at Maxhosa, which opened their flagship store in New York this past weekend, a culture-based brand. So, and I think the beauty about Maxhosa is the appreciation, acceptance, and belief in African on anything that looks like them. And for a long time we rejected anything that's culturally based because we felt, how can we compete next to an LV and Hermes and all those? And Maxhosa has proven that it's possible. You look at Thebe Magugu, who dresses some of the finest individuals in the world, from Michelle Obama to Beyonce to Grace Jones, and then of course Batu, as you know, was named as the #1 most admired South African brand. Remember, it was started only in 2015. 9 years later, it has gone past some of the established brands. Now you look at Batu at #1 most admired South African, #2 Maxhosa, #4 Trip, #9 Galaxy Boy. Those brands was all started. So 40% of the brands in the top 10 were started in the last 10 years by young South Africans who, when they started them, they were not yet 35.
Amazing.
So 30 years from now on, they will be 60, and we will be 6 feet under. Somewhere.
Oh, absolutely not. I'll still be here at this desk having this interview with you. But, you know, it's such a wonderful story in a country like ours where we often get bogged down, and with good reason. We get bogged down by the challenges that we face because there are many. Unemployment is one of them. But this story that you're telling us about these incredible brands that were started in the last 10 to 15 years that are doing so incredibly well, these are the good stories, the good news stories of our country. And as you say, it shows the kind of people that we have in South Africa, and Alive with Possibility comes to mind again, doesn't it?
It does. No, but don't repeat that too much, because our good friends at Brand South Africa, they don't like to be reminded that they got rid of such a beautiful line. And, you know, but A Life with Possibility is probably the most beautiful promise by a country. And South Africa should still be alive with possibilities. I mean, if you look at political landscape now, what's happened in the last week or so with now the Government of National Unity, the DA/NP, IFP, it's pretty much the picture of 94, isn't it? So we are right back there, alive with possibilities. Or you can look at it the way we look at it now, we're inspiring new ways as a country. But South Africa is an inspirational country, despite all the challenges. It's a country that's renewable, that's able to rise again, and we will rise again.
Absolutely. Dr. Thebe Ikalafeng, it's been a great pleasure talking to you this afternoon. You enjoy the rest of your youth day there. He's the chairperson and founder of Brand Africa.